How do you open this? How do you put film in this?
You slam it on the concrete, man. That's how you open it.
Oh, right. This is digital. What are we doing here?
This episode is brought to you by Used Photo Pro. If you're anything like me here in 2025, you're feeling those egg prices. That is, if you can find them. Naturally, that gets us thinking about film, obviously. As film prices blast past our 2020 stimulus checks, a thought creeps in. What about this digital thing? But this isn't the digital camera that you might be expecting. And dare I say, could it actually be fun? Let's go find out. If you've had any exposure to this channel, you might know that I primarily only shoot that saucy celluloid. But I must admit that some cameras really get me doing a double take and dropping my shutter curtain to the floor. This Pentax Monochrome being one of those cameras. But why this camera? In monochrome? The interesting thing is that this camera is one of a kind. Most cameras can't say that. So let's break this video down into a few categories to make it a little bit more digestible. What is this camera? What makes it so special? And what do I really think about it? In full transparency, Pentax did send me this camera, but they never asked or said anything about reviewing it. So don't think I got paid off by the man. They don't even know I'm making this video.
Lots of cameras.
So forgetting this whole monochrome moniker on the back of the camera for just one moment, let's talk about its guts. At the core, this camera is a K3 III, a very confusing cluster of threes, if you ask me. This is Pentax's flagship APS-C censored camera with 25 megapixels. 2025? It's getting me feel a little woozy. I never thought I'd say those words on this channel. But here we are. One surprising feature about this K3 III is that it has more buttons on its body than the interior of a Tesla. I couldn't even tell you what all these buttons do. Okay, fine. I probably could tell you what they do. I read the manual, but I just don't want to. The PASM dial alone has more characters on it than my full legal name. At the end of the day, what you need to know about this K3 III is that it's Pentax's top-of-the-line camera.
Instead of the 21, I'm going to put on, I'm going to put on the 31 now.
Pentax does have a healthy lineup of glass. The ones that I've been using are pretty spot on, but I will talk about that a little later in the next section. But just as a preview, oh my god, look at this pancake lens. This thing is so small, it's the size of a body cap. How? Like, how does this exist? I really like this shot of the pickup truck. Overall, I feel like it's an unconventional angle for me to shoot, but I think it works really well. Both the lines from the building's shadow and the giant ash bush lead your eye directly to that truck. And that back window being super bright keeps your eye on the truck there. I'm here for it. But going back to those buttons on the body for a moment, one really nice thing is that you can basically customize all of the buttons that you want so that you can make it your own. Or just confuse your friend when they want to use it. Why is the ISO not working? I don't know. It's fun. You know what? Sometimes you have to get in the laughs where you can. So let us move on to the next segment of our video and let's explain what makes this camera, the K3 III Monochrome, special. And believe it or not, it's right there in the name. Back in the day, today, very much today, still active. When you want to shoot black and white, all you gotta do is load up your camera with some sexy Tri-X or some saucy Kent mirror push 2 stops, or even that T-Max if you're into that T-grain, not T-pain, different thing. Black and white is an intentional medium. It forces you to think differently, maybe helps you compose in an alternative way. And that is what this monochrome camera is bringing to you. It gives you that intention. Now, while we're here on this image, I want to bring up 2 lenses because here's the thing. 1, this 21 and 31 millimeters are actually full frame lenses and are sharp as hell. 2, they are not sharp as hell wide open. They are definitely the I missed my focus, oh wait, I didn't miss my focus level of soft. The 31 and 40 are pretty fast to focus overall, but the 21 can hunt just a little bit. If you were to use this camera, maybe I'd keep it on spot focus mode.
Take a photo, you know, because I have infinite photos.
The other crazy thing is that there are like literally 2 camera companies that are currently making monochrome bodies. The K3 III and Leica's M11 and their Q2 series as well. But still, those other cameras are coming in at a high price tag, almost as high as those eggs we were talking about earlier. And if you thought that was it, it ain't, because this K3 III is also like one of the last DSLR systems being produced. That means that there's a mirror in there slapping those misbehaving megapixels. I mean, when's the last time you've actually used a DSLR? No, really, when? Mine was like 2 years ago. And full stop, this camera has a darn good feel and sound when taking photos. You know that's important for us film photographers. That mirror slap is quiet and pure satisfaction. It feels good. These images here of the dry cleaner shop are probably the most like film out of the entire bunch. They have a nice roll off in the midtones and are just lovely in my opinion. But really, at the end of the day, the thing that really brings me right round, baby, right round, is dem images. This monochrome sensor kills it. It honestly looks like film in some ways. Maybe it lacks some of the characteristics that film could provide depending on the stock, but if you're there for some pure black and white, crispy images, this baby has it.
One of those is gonna.
You're not even gonna look at those, dude.
One of those are gonna be good, right? One of them. The cool thing about this camera, what I just found out, is that when you're on manual focus and you get into focus, it will actually beep at you and say, oh, nope, you're in focus, even if you're in manual. It's pretty sick.
But before we move on to some more mono goodness, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Use Photo Pro. If you haven't heard of them before, Use Photo Pro, or Up, as I like to call them, has one of the largest selections of camera gear in the country. They have everything from 35mm film to the marvelous medium format to used DSLRs and mirrorless cameras. They even once had this monochrome on their website. One of the biggest things that Up prides themselves on is that the gear that you see on their website is without a doubt the gear you will receive in the mail. And this way you know exactly what you're getting. And with the easy to understand grading system, you will be rest assured about the quality of the gear that you purchase. Up's sister company, Roberts, actually has the latest Pentax full frame cameras in stock. And I'm sure if you want this monochrome, you can get that too. So if you're in the market to love on a new to you camera or lens, hit up Use Photo Pro for more. Now, back to some mono magic.
Oh, and another awesome rando feature that's just 100% pure badass is your ability to shoot 4K monochrome video. What? Yes, please. Would I always go for that? No, probably not. To be fair, it's just a really nice, weird feature that really makes me smile. Now, once arriving home, I realized that for the past few weeks, I've actually been shooting Jpegs from this camera the entire time. But what surprised me was how great those files look and how flexible the Jpegs really are. Another thing to note about this camera is that it does actually have different profiles for black and white. You can choose from standard, hard, or soft, and you can even adjust those to your liking. But if you shoot RAW, they don't actually apply to the image, they only apply to the JPEG. So now what do I really think of this Mono Master? Because to be honest with you, I'm conflicted. On one hand, it's digital, ew, gross, go away. But on the other hand, I have just had so much fun shooting it. Is this what growing up feels like? The look of these images are fantastic, and they're easy to edit and have a ton of range, even the JPEGs. But on the third hand, which I actually grew that one time I fell into the vat of toxic waste while shooting an abandoned building, I kind of feel like the sensor may be in the wrong body. I kind of want something light and breezy to shoot. Now don't get me wrong, DSLRs I think have a place in this world. But, and hear me out, what if this was in a sleek and sexy compact rangefinder style body? Sure, that's not a super original thought, but this camera could be original. The Nikon ZF, the new OM system, basically every Fuji body under the sun. These are a super popular body style and not going anywhere anytime soon. But other than Leicas, there isn't really a mono sensor in that type of body style. Sure, Fuji has simulations, but not truly monochrome. But I get it, Pentax has lenses and they're all designed for SLRs. But for me, I want less buttons to deal with. Give me the basics, and I'm down. Think of the Ricoh 800 smashed with the Fuji X Pro. But overall, what Pentax did here for this camera is special, and I'll keep shooting it as long as they allow me to keep it, which is hopefully forever. Well, that will do it for me today. Let me know if you've ever been interested in shooting a monochrome sensor, and if you enjoyed this weird foray into some megapixels. But till next time, how about you go out and shoot some stuff, why don't you? Okay, bye.